Hello and welcome to Classic Country Backstories. I'm Colleen Gallagher. Today's episode highlights the career of one of the most endeared entertainers in the country music genre. I'm talking about Charley Pride. Nashville, Tennessee, country music capital of the world, home of the Grand Ole Opry, where singers and dreamers come seeking stardom. Join me as we learn about the lives and careers of those who built this town on Classic Country Backstories. Charley Frank Pride was born on March 18, 1934, on a 40-acre cotton farm in Sledge, Mississippi. His parents were sharecroppers. His name was supposed to be Charles Frank Pride. However, there was a misspelling on his birth certificate, and the name stuck. He was the fourth of 11 children, 8 boys and 3 girls. Growing up, Charley was mostly exposed to blues, gospel, and country music. Charley's father fostered his love of country music by tuning the family's Philco radio into WSM's Grand Ole Opry on Saturday nights. At 14, Charley bought his first guitar, a Silvertone, from the Sears and Roebuck catalog and taught himself to play by listening to songs on the radio. By 16, Pride was becoming a talented baseball player. He first played with the Iowa State League. From there, he played with several teams, including the Negro American League All-Star team. Charley played against players such as Willie Mays and Hank Aaron. In 1956, he was drafted by Uncle Sam. He went to basic training at Fort Chaffee, Arkansas. During Christmas leave from basic training, Charley married Rosine, who he had met earlier in the year while playing baseball in Memphis. After basic training, Charley was stationed at Fort Carson near Colorado Springs, Colorado, where he was assigned to quartermaster duty and the baseball team. While at Fort Carson, he was known to sing at the barracks, and occasionally he would sing at the officers' club. After discharge in 1958, Charley rejoined the Memphis Red Sox and returned to pursuing his career as a Major League Baseball player. In 1958, he also began pursuing a career in music. He made a demo at Sun Records, but his career did not take off until later. In 1960, Charley moved to Montana to play with the Missoula Timberjacks and playing for a semi-pro baseball team, the East Helena Smelterites. In 1961, he was invited to try out for the Los Angeles Angels during spring training, but found himself heading back to Helena after 2 weeks in camp. During the first half of the 1960s, Charley continued to work for the Smelter and playing semi-pro baseball. He also became known for singing the national anthem at local ball games and singing at the honky-tonks, churches, and nightclubs in Helena, Anaconda, and Great Falls area. In 1962, with the help of a local disc jockey, Tiny Stocks, he was introduced to country singers Red Sylvain and Red Foley. He was invited to sing Lovesick Blues and Heartaches by the Number at one of their shows. After a disastrous tryout for the New York Mets in Clearwater, Florida, Charley decided a baseball career was not in the cards for him. He returned to Montana via Nashville because Red Sylvain suggested he come to Music City and get in touch with Cedarwood Publishing Company, who booked Sylvain's shows. Charley Pride traveled by Greyhound bus to Nashville. He was actively searching for a promising black country singer. Jack made a quick recording of him and drove him back to the bus station, promising him a management contract. Jack made good on his word. Charley's career started slow, but it was the beginning of a relationship that proved successful over the next decade. While Jack Johnson was working in Nashville, Charley continued performing around the Montana area. He worked with the Nighthawks, a very progressive country group for the 1960s. This group was founded by a young artist named Jimmy Owen. The group featured Charley on guitar and vocals, Jimmy's father George on steel guitar, and 14-year-old named Monty Cowles on drums. In Nashville, Jack Johnson was encountering much more resistance than he had anticipated as he made his way around with Charley's demo. Finally, in 1965, Charley returned to Nashville and Jack introduced him to producer Cowboy Jack Clement. Clement gave Charley 7 songs to learn in a week. They recorded 2 of these songs. The Snakes Crawl at Night, and Atlanta Coastal Line during a studio session with top Nashville players. Clement and Johnson continued to have a difficult time getting Charley a record deal until 1966 when Chet Atkins, legendary guitarist and rising executive producer for RCA Records, decided to sign Charley. Charley's first two singles, The Snakes Crawl at Night and Before I Met You, led the way to Just Between You and Me, which broke the top 10 country charts in 1967 and garnered Charley his first Grammy nomination. Charley Pride quickly became country music's first African-American superstar. Between 1967 and 1987, he charted 52 top 10 hits and went on to sell tens of millions of records. In 1971, Pride won 2 Grammys for his gospel album, Did You Think to Pray? Later that same year, Charley's #1 crossover hit, Kiss an Angel Goodmorning, sold over 1 million singles, earning him the CMA Entertainer of the Year award and top male vocalist in 1971 and 72. He also earned a Best Male Country Vocal Performance Grammy in 1972. In the early 90s, Charley released his autobiography, Pride, The Charley Pride Story, with assistance of Jim Henderson. The book covered Charley's life and career through the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Some of Charley Pride's biggest hits include All I Have to Offer You Is Me, Is Anybody Going to San Antone?, Amazing Love, Mississippi Cotton Pickin' Delta Town, Burgers and Fries, Roll On Mississippi, and Mountain of Love. After parting ways with RCA Records in 1986, Charley went on to record with 16th Avenue Records. In 1993, Charley Pride was asked to be a member of the Grand Ole Opry, 26 years after making his first appearance as a guest. Charley admitted that he had opportunities to join the Opry as early as 1967, but declined as there was a requirement to be a member that you had to appear 26 Saturdays per year. He said it was purely an economical decision for him. Fridays and Saturdays were the best time for him to perform road shows and make money, and his career was just taking off, so he had to politely decline the invitation. In 1994, Charley was issued the Academy of Country Music's prestigious Pioneer Award. In 2000, he was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. And in 2017, the Recording Academy, known for their Grammy Awards, honored Charley Pride with a Lifetime Achievement Award. Pride opened the Charley Pride Theater in Branson, Missouri in 1994, performing nearly 200 shows yearly for 4 years. Charley Pride was an international superstar, traveling in the United States, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, the United Kingdom, and Ireland. Interestingly, Charley's popularity with his Irish and UK fans can be attributed to the insurgent territorial conflict known as the Troubles. Characterized by bouts of political violence, the Troubles were basically centered around Northern Ireland. Because of the violence and risks, international acts were routinely skipping Belfast. In 1975, during the height of the Troubles, Irish concert promoter Jim Aiken flew to a rural Ohio concert to urge Charley not to bypass Belfast during his upcoming UK tour. Charley performed at Belfast's Ritz Cinema in November of 1976, where he brought the community together. Following suit, performers Rod Stewart and the Rolling Stones performed. As a result, Charley became a bit of a hero for both sides, lifting the performance band of Northern Ireland. Shortly thereafter, his song, Crystal Chandeliers, became considered a unity song in Ireland and the UK after its release as a single. Charley Pride often said he was accepted in the country music industry as soon as they heard him sing. Audiences were respectful to him at his concerts. When people would say, "You must have had it hard," Charley would say, "No, I didn't." He said the biggest problem that he had initially was that promoters were reluctant or scared to book him. But he said they finally came around. Charley Pride died of complications from COVID-19 on December 12, 2020 in Dallas, Texas. He was 86 years old. He is buried at Calvary Hill Cemetery in Dallas, Texas. Charley and Rosine Pride were married for 64 years. Charley was the father of 4 children, Carlton, Dion, Angela, and Tyler. Thanks Thanks for watching this episode of Classic Country Backstories. Please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for notifications of upcoming episodes. Until next time, God bless, take care, and I'll see you later.